Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. My name is Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. I am coming to you live from the campus of Newton North High School in Newton, Massachusetts. Here to bring you live coverage of today's high school varsity boys soccer contest between the hosting Tigers of Newton North High School and the visiting Brookline High Warriors. You know it's always an exciting chapter whenever it's an additional chapter in the long, historic rival between Brookline and Newton North. And on a beautiful, surprisingly warm, late October evening, this one should be a fun one as well. I tell you, folks, I don't understand what the weather is doing anymore. I mean, I understand that trying to understand how the weather works in New England is an exercise in futility, but seriously, I was out working at a game yesterday morning, and the temperature was in the 40s. By the time I left the game I was working at yesterday, the temperature was up in the 70s. And now it's Monday, and the temperature is still up in the 70s. I don't know what's going on here. It's the last week of the regular season, and I'm out here without a coat on. This is weird. Not that I'm complaining. It is strange. But as I said, it is the last week of the regular season. Teams making their strongest possible push for the playoffs that they can. And for both Brookline and Newton North, that push is coming down to the wire. The latest MIAA Division I power rankings came out Friday morning, and Brookline, with a record of 2 wins, 8 losses, and 5 draws, came in ranked 36th in the power rankings. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with how the playoff system works here in the MIAA, the top 32 teams in the power rankings make the state tournament, and then any teams outside the top 32 that have a 500 or better record also make the dance for the play-in round. So Brookline right now, they're on the outside looking in with only 3 games left in the regular season. Tonight's game, Wednesday's game against Framingham, and then Saturday's senior day game against Needham. And Brookline's going to need a strong showing in all 3 if they want to try and get themselves back into that playoff dance by the end of the week. Newton North, meanwhile, they are currently on the inside looking out, but only just barely. The Tigers, with a record of 4 wins, 8 losses, and 3 draws, ranked 32nd in the power rankings. So if the season ended today, they would be going to the playoffs. But if they have a bad week this week here at the end and they drop even 1 spot in the power rankings, they're out. So both teams desperate to claw their way into a playoff berth. Brookline trying to get back in to the playoff bracket. Newton North trying to hold on to that last rung on the ladder. And that should make for an exciting contest. And as always, during this fall regular season, I am happy to say this broadcast is brought to you in part by Esch Dental, located right in Coolidge Corner. You can see their logo in the bottom middle of your screen. Book your next dental appointment with local dentist and BHS sports parent Dr. Brandon Esch for the non-corporate personalized dentistry our community deserves. Call 617-566-0103 or go online to eschdental.com to find out more and book your appointment. Once again, 617-566-0103 or go online to easchdental.com. And you can find that link and phone number in the description section down below, where you can also, in the description section, find a link to the official Venmo account of the Friends of BHS Soccer Booster Club, which supports all 6 Brookline High soccer teams, boys and girls, varsity, JV, and freshmen. So be sure to check those out in the links down below. According to the pregame scoreboard clock out here at Newton North, we got about 4 minutes before this game gets underway. So I'm going to run our intro video, and then I'm going to go through the rosters as quick as we can once I come back. From Newton North High School, I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. Warriors versus Tigers coming up. You are watching Brookline High Soccer. The kick. Scores! Wally Lawrence! Grady Ames, potential breakaway. Ames, shot, score! Goldberg kicks, coming in high, header, score! Jonah Lippman ties it up! All right, we got about 2.5 minutes before this game gets underway. Let's go through the rosters really quick. We'll start with the visitors on the scoreboard today, the Brookline High Warriors. Going in order of jersey number for Brookline, first off, we have a sophomore, number 2, Sammy Treestman. Next up, a senior captain, number 4, Jack Fitzgerald. A junior number 6, Kai Putney. A junior number 7, Jacob Friedman. A senior number 8, Ben Speicher. A senior number 9, Maury Shende Ruiz. A freshman number 10, Danmarth Dovillier. A junior number 11, Koya Nicoli. A junior number 12, Ryan Goldberg. A sophomore number 13, Julian Weil. A sophomore, number 14, Jeffrey Dong. A junior, number 15, Santi Sierra. A junior, number 16, Jad Torres. A senior captain, number 17, Grady Ames. A senior, number 18, Josh Bittner. A junior, number 19, Travis Applebaum. A senior, number 20, Aiden Kapusta. A senior captain, number 22, Nate Lockwood. A junior, number 24, Wally Lawrence. A junior, number 25, Jonah Lippman. A senior, number 26, Frederick Schreiber-Wachnick. A senior, number 27, Timur Tunkman. A freshman, number 30, Lars Peterson. A senior goalie, number 98, Luca Campbell, and a junior goalie, number 99, Alec Smagula. Head coach of the Brookline High boys soccer team is Kyle Bolu-Jones.
Let's start by meeting our visitors from Brookline.
And now the PA announcer is introducing starting lineups.
Junior, number 7, Jacob Friedman. A senior, number 8, Ben Speicher. A junior, number 9, Alec Smagula. A freshman, number 10, Danmarth Dovillier. A junior, number 12, Ryan Goldberg. A senior captain, number 17, Grady Ames. A junior, number 19, Travis Applebaum. A senior captain, number 22, Nate Lockwood. A junior, number 24, Wally Lawrence. A junior, number 25, Jonah Lippman. And a senior, number 26, Frederick Schreiber-Wachnick. The Warriors are coached by Mr. Kyle Bolu-Jones. And now, for your Newton North Tigers. A sophomore, number 2, Lorenzo Grimaldi. A senior, number 3, Seth Rao. A junior, number 4, Peter Reel. A junior, number 5, Giga Erdine. A senior, number 6, Anthony Arisis. A senior, number 7, Tiago Rubino. A senior captain, number 8, Ross Toma. A senior, number 9, Marco Coleman. A senior captain, number 10, Santiago Cuervo. A sophomore, number 15, Owen Knapp. And a senior, number 33, George Markson. The Tigers are coached by Mr. Roy Dow, assistant Ed Jenkinson. If you can, please rise, remove your head coverings for the playing of the national anthem.
All right, those are our starting lineups and the national anthem, and soon we'll be getting this one started with a fresh 40 minutes on the clock for the first half. Brookline and Newton North faced off a little over 4 weeks ago on September 28th as part of their annual Kicks for Cancer game out at Concord Carlisle High School. The two squads fought to a 1-1 draw in that contest. And with both teams having only scored once, it'll be interesting to see if either side's offense breaks out for any kind of stronger result, as both of these teams have had great fortune when scoring more than once in a game. Brookline with a record of 2-0-1, 2 wins, no losses, 1 draw in all the games where they've scored more than once. Newton North a perfect 4-0 when they score multiple times in a game, but both teams have struggled with their offensive consistency this season. Brookline has been shut out 4 times out of their first 15 games. Newton North has been shut out 6 times through their first 15 games this season. So 2 teams that have found success when they can get their offense going, but 2 teams that have struggled to do just that on a consistent basis. We'll see what happens here in this one. And remember, as always, if you end up enjoying this live stream, I encourage you to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And if there's anything you'd like to say, I encourage you to say it in the live chat. see the Tigers over here on the right in their black and orange jerseys with white jersey numbers. Brookline on the left, white jerseys, dark blue jersey numbers. As we get ready to get this one going. Starters in net for Brookline, number 99, Alex Magula. For Newton North, number 33, George Markson. All right, looks like Newton North is going to get the opening possession of this ball game. Setting up at midfield is number 5, Bishrelt Giga Bat Erden. And Bat Erden gets us started here. Warriors versus Tigers. Kick upfield is deflected and taken away by Danmarth Dovillier. Touches it back to Wally Lawrence. Lawrence sends it back to Ben Speicher. His pass deflected out of bounds by number 7, Tiago Rubino. It'll be Brookline ball as Lawrence throws it up the line. Almost kept in bounds by Grady Ames. Deflected out by number 15, Owen Knapp. Ames leaves it for Lawrence to throw in as Brookline deep in the Newton North end to start. Throw into the box, deflects down and booted away. Big defensive play by the Tigers there as Speicher just lets that one roll out of bounds. Pass goes up to number 26, Frederick Schreiber-Wachnick, goes back to Speicher, up to Lockwood, back to, I believe, Travis Applebaum, up to Lockwood, and back to Jonah Littman. Littman boots it upfield, goes off the head of Seth Rao, but downed by Dorvillier. Dorvillier sends it up to Lawrence. Lawrence kicks across her, misses one, but now a shot, and that's in! Jacob Friedman strikes with agility, and Brookline is on the board first. Boy, that happened so fast. Almost didn't know what was happening. Let's take a look at the replay here. Great downed ball by Dorvillier. Sends it up to Lawrence. Lawrence kicks across her, bounces across, and then Friedman right there in the perfect spot to receive that. Friedman from Lawrence for the first goal of the game here in the 2nd minute of this ball game. So a big chance for Brookline. As I said before, both teams are unbeaten when they score more than once, and Brookline is halfway to that goal with their first goal of the game. Brookline, I believe, did score first in the Kicks for Cancer game, though, and they surrendered that lead to end up in a 1-1 tie, so they cannot rest on their laurels in this situation. As they work it up the far sideline, Friedman, who scored the goal, sends it up to Ames. Ames is blocked, knocked out of bounds by the Newton North defense. We haven't had many. We've had a pretty solid Wi-Fi connection to start this broadcast as Brookline gets on the move again. That one blocked and cleared out. As Speicher sent that one up, Lawrence a nice fake to chase that one down. Going to try a crosser again, and it's knocked off the crossbar. Still in play. Dorvillier touches it forward. Oh, and it was missed just wide off the foot of Friedman. They almost had 2 goals inside the first 3 minutes. Looks like the Wi-Fi is starting to go a bit on the fritz on me. I'm hoping it stays relatively strong throughout. If any video frames cut out during the goal by Friedman, please let me know in the live chat, and I will have a fully recorded version I can upload later tonight. In the meantime, this one taken away. Newton North trying to press, but it's kicked away by Applebaum. Goes up to Friedman. Friedman sends it forward to Ames. Ames taking it slow around the far side, decides to send it all the way back to Applebaum. Applebaum slides it over to Speicher. Up to Schreiber-Wachnick, but stolen away. Swooping in to take that one is number 8, Ross Toma. Toma running up with it. Toma trying to muscle his way through several defenders, but got outnumbered, and it's taken away by Speicher. Speicher up to Ryan Goldberg, who touches it back to Schreiber-Wachnick. His kick blocked, but recovered by Goldberg. Goldberg manages to keep it away from Toma, sends it back to Speicher. Speicher up to Goldberg. And now sends it outside for Littman. Littman collides hard with a defender, and it's knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Littman. Last touch by Littman. Throw in for Newton North, goes up the far side, blocked, and whoa, very physical pushing and shoving there between Applebaum and number 5, Giga Bat-Erden. Now Newton North working it to the near side to Rao. Rao kicks one towards the box. Deflected down, Bat-Erden with a shot, and it's taken off the bounce by Smagula. An open look for Giga Bat-Erden, but had to sort of kick it off a small bounce there, and so he couldn't get his foot on it as much as he wanted. This one deflects off the head of Ames, kicked away by number 2, Lorenzo Grimaldi. And now stolen away up the far sideline by Friedman, sends it back to Littman. Littman back up the line to Friedman, kicks to the middle, knocked away by number 6, Anthony Aresis. Now a couple deflections, goes back to Applebaum, and across now to Speicher. Speicher boots this one over the head of the defense, almost downed by Ames, but went off the back of his foot. Was running the risk of being offsides there anyhow, as Littman passed it up to Friedman, up to Goldberg. Goldberg to the outside to Ames, back to Friedman. Friedman walking it up, past Goldberg, deflected but recovered by Friedman. Friedman kicks it to the outside, blocked down by Rao, but right to Schreiber-Wachnick, but stolen away by, I believe, Toma. And now this one rolling out to the near side, stays in bounds as Nate Lockwood takes that one, passes over to Goldberg, across to Littman, who's got some space on the far side. Sends it forward to Dorvilliers. Dorvilliers cuts around a defender, starting to take off. Dorvilliers charging in. Dorvilliers tried a shot. It was blocked by Grimaldi, and that is going to give Brookline the corner kick. Brookline here in this just the 7th minute. This game feels like it's been going 100 miles an hour since the start, as Brookline has come out firing. They send out Ryan Goldberg to take the corner kick from the far side. Kick flies in low, and it's out of bounds. It'll be a goal kick. Markson sets up for the goal kick. Boots it. Deflects off ahead and is going to roll out of bounds. Newton North ball. (1-0) the Brookline lead off the goal from Jacob Friedman, assisted by Wally Lawrence. This one thrown into Toma. Toma kicks one forward. A chance here, and a shot missed off the football uprights. And even though it bounced back in bounds, it will be a goal kick for Brookline. That was a huge chance for Santiago Cuervo, and a timeout is going to be called off that play. But what an exciting start to this game. 1-0, the Brookline advantage. Jacob Friedman scoring in just the 2nd minute of the ball game, assisted by Wally Lawrence. And during this timeout break, I remind you this broadcast is brought to you in part by Esch Dental, located right in Coolidge Corner. Book your next dental appointment with local dentist and BHS Sports parent Dr. Brandon Esch for the non-corporate personalized dentistry our community deserves. Call 617-566-0103 or go online to eschdental.com to find out more and book your appointment. Once again, 617-566-0103 or go online to easchdental.com. And you can find all that information in the description section down below. It's been a wild start. Would you believe we're less than 8 minutes into this ball game with a number of exciting scoring chances and near scores, and the one actual score we've already seen. You know, it doesn't feel like we're just 7 minutes and 47 seconds in, but that is where we are, as there's still 32-13 on the clock here in the first half. Coming out of the timeout, it's going to be a goal kick for Brookline after that shot from Cuervo went off of the football uprights. You know, I've seen a number of soccer shots fly through the football uprights as if it was a good field goal. I don't think I've ever seen one actually bounce off the post and back into the field of play. That was a funny little moment there. This one goes out off the head of number 9, Marco Koman, and will be a Brookline throw-in. Lawrence throws this one up the line. Deflects off a foot towards the middle, and it's corralled by Goldberg, but then wrestled away. A deflection to the near side, booted forward by Lawrence. Grady Ames downs it. Ames couldn't quite control it. It's deflected away and taken by the Tigers. The pass goes over to Toma. Toma's pass intercepted by Lawrence. Lawrence moving up the near side, muscles his way through a defender like a running back. Crosser into the box, scooped up by Markson. Wally Lawrence bowling over people like he's Marshawn Lynch out there, but couldn't quite get the crosser he wanted on that one. This one headed forward, being chased after by several players, and it's going to be controlled by the Tigers. They get a kick away over to Koman. Koman had the ball bounce off his hand, and that'll be a free kick for Brookline. My apologies if I'm not able to call out names as frequently when the ball's on the far side. When we get into the late days of the fall season or are playing more night games, it's just so much harder to see the numbers. Off the free kick, goes off the head of Dorvilliers, kicked away by number 4, Peter Reel. Off of several deflections, it's kicked away by Aresis and goes out of bounds. Brookline throw in for Goldberg, tapped back to Littman, popped up in the air. Downed by Koman. Koman touches it forward for himself and cut off by Lockwood, who draws the foul. Had the inside leverage to the ball there, and so Koman knocking over Lockwood results in the foul call against the Tigers. Lawrence takes the free kick, deflects off the foot of Goldberg, headed down and controlled by Cuervo. Touch pass across, and now racing up the far side, but Rubino ran out of room there. Quick throw in from Brookline as they try and work it upfield. Ames couldn't quite get it away, and it's taken by Cuervo. Cuervo racing up with it. Cuervo looking around, sends it far side Rubino. Rubino still dribbling up, blocked by Littman, but it goes out of bounds and will be Newton North ball. Rubino looking for the throw-in. Flies into the box. Header, a chance, and it's walled off by Smagula. Well read by Alex Smagula with the black goalie jersey against the the dark night sky. I almost lost track of where he was on that play, but he knew where the ball was, and that's all that mattered. Friedman's pass doesn't go where he wants. It's intercepted by Toma. Toma sends it across, finds his target. That is Grimaldi. Grimaldi misses Rubino on that pass, rolls out of bounds. Brookline ball. Still 1-0, the Brookline advantage as the throw-in goes to Lockwood, but a couple of Newton North players swoop in and batter. Den knocks it away, but now out the middle, it's wrestled away by Lockwood. A long pass slide block by Komen. Kicked upfield, but downed by Schreiber-Wachnick. Sends it up to Lawrence. Lawrence trying to race up the near sideline. He's got the edge. Lawrence sends in a crosser right to D'Orvilliers. Shot wide! The defense was closing in fast on D'Orvilliers there, as he couldn't quite get the shot he wanted. Couple subs checking in for Brookline, number 16, Jad Torres, and number 15, Santi Sierra. They replaced Jacob Friedman and Ryan Goldberg. Markson, goal kick, deflects the wrong way, and D'Orvilliers took it away and drew a foul as Rubino kind of came over the back on him there. So Brookline with a free kick opportunity from about the 30-yard line. This is a shot from this distance is not outside the realm of possibility. We'll see what they decide to do as Jonah Littman is lining up to kick this one. And he sends one into the box, deflects wide of the net, but Newton North keeps it in bounds. And the attempt to clear deflected, recovered by Lawrence. Lawrence winds, kicks one, deflects up in the air, and Markson couldn't quite cover it up. It's still in play. And they couldn't quite clear it out. Deflects, could get a boot on it, recovered by D'Orvilliers, but he lost his balance, and it's knocked away, recovered by Batter Den. Sends it out to Grimaldi and up to Rubino as Newton North escapes the scare there. Brookline takes it away. Pass goes up to D'Orvilliers. Knocked out by Grimaldi. It'll be Brookline ball. Brookline keeping up their offensive pressure. So we're about 14 minutes in. Throw in goes to Sierra. Sierra taps it back, misses. Recovered by Batter Den. Batter Den battles around one, dribbling across midfield, sends pass outside to Rubino. Rubino looking, fakes, now kicks, leading for Batter Den. Batter Den tries a crosser. It's blocked by Applebaum out of bounds. Good defensive tracking to stop what could have been a very scary crossing pass into the box there, as Newton North had a couple of forwards crashing towards the net to potentially receive that potential pass from Rubino there. Tigers throw it into the box, deflects off a head, and then off a foot, and now off a head, bouncing in, blocked, and now kicked in! Santiago Cuervo ties it up for Newton North. A wild scrum around the box, but Newton North gets that last bounce they needed, as Brookline never quite got the full clear that they needed to get that one out of there. And ultimately, it's the senior captain, Santiago Cuervo, who knocks that one in. And less than 15 minutes into this ball game, we've already got the same score we had the last time these two teams faced off at 1-1. This pass cut off by Sierra, but Aresis manages to get a pass away to Cuervo, sent back to the back line to number 15, Owen Knapp. Up to Rao, back to Knapp. Knapp sends a pass across. Finds Real. Real sends it out to Grimaldi on the far side. Grimaldi up to Batter Den. Batter Den passes out to Rubino on the far side. Rubino sending one forward just barely out of reach for Batter Den, and it's going to be scooped up by Smagula. 1-1. As I said before, both these teams undefeated when they score multiple goals. Each one has scored one now. Who could potentially get that magical second goal? Speicher sends it up to Lawrence. Lawrence looking around. Winds and kicks one, and that's going to curve out of bounds. Newton North ball. Rao setting up, throws it in. Throws it into Aresis. Aresis sends it back to Real. Real, quick pass up to Cuervo. Cuervo across to Toma. Toma up to Rao. Rao sends it forward, miss, timed with Koeman, intercepted by Speicher. Speicher sends it up the line, deflected forward by Lawrence, gets up to Jad Torres. Torres, pass back, Lawrence pops one up in the air. It's a race now. Real gets there first, knocks it away from Dauvilliers, out of bounds. A sub now coming in for Brookline, number 18, Josh Bittner, replaces Frederick Schreiber-Wachnick. And it'll be a Brookline throw-in deep in the Newton North end. Lawrence to throw it in. This one towards the box, deflects down, and just barely kicked away. Ames was crashing around that one, but Grimaldi manages to get it away. Clear kick intercepted by Bittner. Bittner taps it back to Speicher, up to Bittner, back to Lockwood. Lockwood over to Littman. Littman, kick across, Bittner. Bittner fending off Cuervo. Cuervo knocks it away clean. Lockwood takes it back. Pass back to Speicher. Speicher back to Applebaum. Applebaum quickly kicks it up, finds Dauvilliers. Dauvilliers. Pass back, Speicher. Speicher up to Sierra. Sierra looking. Still looking. Pass back, Littman. Littman. Pass up Lockwood across Bittner. Bittner back to Speicher. Pass intercepted by Koeman. Koeman dribbles upfield with it, lost out of bounds. Brookline ball. Lawrence, throw-in comes in high, bouncing along. And Torres corrals it. Pass back, Bittner. Bittner sends it back to Lawrence. Lawrence over to Lockwood, back to Speicher. Speicher up to Lockwood, over to Lawrence. Lawrence up the line, Bittner kicked away by Rao, and that stays in bounds. He got the curve to keep it in bounds. That goes way down to the Brookline end. Speicher with the ball. Opts to go around the defender, go up the sideline. Now a pass intercepted, disrupted by Bittner, but it is tapped back to Rao, up to Cuervo. Cuervo sends leader, headed down by Applebaum. Recovered by Bittner, pass across, finds Lockwood. Lockwood, pass to the outside. Ames sends it back to Littman, up to Lockwood. Lockwood tripling up the middle, pass over to Bittner. Bittner, forward, Torres couldn't quite keep it. It's taken away by Toma. Now sends it up to Cuervo. Cuervo, leading pass. Den couldn't get there, and it is picked up by Smagula. Rolled into Littman. Littman boots it upfield. Downed by Rao and kicked away. Now recovered by Ames. Ames pass blocked by Toma. Ames couldn't quite chase it down as Toma takes it. Pass up to Koeman. Koeman's pass blocked by Speicher. Pass back to Applebaum. Up to Bittner and out to Lawrence. Lawrence, high leading kick. It's going to be too far as Clarkson comes out of the box to boot that away from a rushing Dauvilliers. Now Lockwood recovers at the midfield. Pass back to Littman, and now up the line to Sierra. Pass over to Lockwood. Back to Speicher. Speicher walking it up across midfield. Now a pass. Gets up to Dauvilliers. Dauvilliers Pass back, Spicer couldn't quite stay with it. Taken away by Bat Erden. Pass back, Rao pops it up high in the air. Off the bounce, headed forward by Toma, but it's right to Applebaum, who kicks it over to Lockwood. Lockwood up to Ames. Ames swings it across to Lawrence, who taps it back to Spicer. Spicer over to Lawrence. Lawrence from the near side kicks one up in the air, and Ames trying to chase after it. Battling for it with Rubino, and Rubino wins the battle, comes away with the ball. Pass to the middle. Toma kicks it upfield, but right to Lippman. Lippman sends it upfield to Sierra. Sierra running with it. Sierra tries to kick one forward, blocked by, I think, Aresis blocked that one, and Grimaldi kicks it upfield. Dribbling with it now is Cuervo. Cuervo pass outside Rubino. Rubino dribbling up with it, blocked by Lippman. Lippman now dribbling up with it. Surveying his options. Now kicks one across to the near side to Torres. Torres one-on-one with Rao, trying to juke. Trying to get that opening, and he gets tripped up by Rao. They say he got ball first, so no foul call, but it was last touched by Rao, and that will draw a Brookline corner kick. Friedman and Schreiber-Wachnick subbing back in for Brookline as they replace Bittner and Torres. As Brookline lines up for the corner kick. I think this is Sierra, the lefty, setting up to kick this one in. Kick flies in off the head of a defender and out of the box. And Rubino couldn't quite get around the defender there as it's tapped back to Applebaum. Quick pass around the triangle, goes back to Applebaum. Kick upfield, bounced along, intercepted by Toma. Toma up to Rubino, tapped over to Cuervo, lost his balance, and Friedman takes advantage, taps it up to Dorvilliers. And a battle for the ball, and it is passed back to Lippman. Upfield finds Friedman. Friedman pass to the middle, and Sierra sends it back to Spicer. Spicer up to Lawrence. 16.5 to go here in the first half. We're tied at 1 as Lawrence sends back to Spicer. Up to Lawrence, to Schreiber-Wachnick, back again to Spicer. Spicer draws the foul as Bat Erden, a little too physical and a little too grabby there from behind when trying to defend. This will be a free kick for Brookline from about the 45-yard line of the football field. Too far for a shot realistically, but they're probably going to try and send it into the box, create some chaos here. Spicer's kick comes in low, and it's knocked out by the Newton North defense, but chased down by Dorvilliers. Dorvilliers manages to get a shot through, but it's wide of the net and is going to bounce out of bounds. That'll be a goal kick for Newton North as two new Tigers check in. Number 12, Hernan Fitzgerald Lara, and number 49, Nikita Lutzkley, as they are going to replace Giga Bat Erden and Marco Koman. Markson with the goal kick. And they're going to call Brookline for the push in the back on that one, and it'll be a free kick for Newton North. Coming up to take it is Grimaldi. Just under 15 minutes to go here in the first half as Grimaldi kicks this one, flies all the way towards the box, bounces over the outstretched head of Reel, and it's picked up off the bounce by Smagula. Thrown into Lawrence, who taps it forward to Ames. Ames trying to run on the counter here, sends one forward. Lawrence picking up speed, chasing down that ball. Crosser, Dorvilliers shot through the uprights, too high. A great counter rush by the Warriors, but it can be so tough getting the deflection you want off a pass that fast. And that's exactly what happened there. D'Orvilliers, his shot just had an upward trajectory off the bounce, and when the ball's flying that fast, that upward trajectory is just going to sail way over the bar. This one kicked away and recovered now by Lutzkley. Lutzkley passes it forward, tapped back now, kicked up by Aresis, and now off to the races. Not off sides is Fitzgerald-Lara. Hernan Fitzgerald-Lara battling with Speicher, and Speicher with the arm extension there. He's going to be called for the push foul. I think Brookline was trying to argue that he grabbed the jersey and that led to the push, but they were not getting that call. And so it's going to be a free kick for Newton North. So Ross Toma lining up for the kick here. It's a bit of a tough angle for a shot because it's a little too close, the defensive wall in the way. Might try for a crosser here. We'll see what he opts to go with. And he goes for a high crosser, headed up in the air by the Brookline defense. They try a kick. It bounces along, and it's booted away by Brookline. Off ahead, back forward, Cuervo does recover it, but too many white jerseys in there, knocked away, but it goes right to Rubino. Rubino trying to keep up the attack. Jukes passes out to Lutzkley. Lutzkley kicks it across, and we've got some kind of violation called against Newton North. Not sure if they called offsides, a foul, or what they called, but either way, this is going to be a free kick for Brookline. "12 minutes on the clock here in the first half. We're still tied at 1. Smagula. Kick is downed. Deflects back. Cuervo up to Rubino. Rubino dribbling, looking for a pass. Lost his balance off the ball, and it's wrestled away by Friedman. Friedman tripped hard, and they're not going to say he got ball there. You could tell hooked foot on that one. And so it'll be a free kick for Brookline. Got a substitution for Newton North that will come in the next time it is their ball on a throw-in or a free kick. But for now, Brookline's free kick slides all the way up to Friedman. Friedman to Sierra in the middle. Sierra dribbling away from the defense, looking around, opts to pass back to Speicher. Speicher goes back to Applebaum. Applebaum over to Littman. Littman walking it up. Pass up the line. Friedman knocked away. Recovered by Cuervo, but his pass misses. Taken on the far sideline by D'Orvilliers. D'Orvilliers kicks it across, finds Lawrence, but knocked away by the defense of Lutzkley. But Lawrence wrestles it away. Lawrence dribbling, pass to the middle. D'Orvilliers fakes, dribbles. D'Orvilliers shoots, and wide again. He's had a number of good looks, but the shots just haven't been flying right off his feet so far. As checking in for Newton North now in advance of the goal kick will be number 23, Yorvin Ariaza Lopez. He will replace Tiago Rubino. Marks in the goal kick, bouncing along. Deflects forward, taken by Cuervo. Cuervo's pass goes off Lopez's back foot the wrong way. Cleared out by Brookline. Out of the midfield, it's recovered by Sierra. Sierra looking around. Still has the ball. Pass across to Schreiber-Wachnick. Now over to Speicher. Speicher could not keep control, knocked away by Toma. Goes back to Rao, who boots it upfield. Racing up for it. Fitzgerald-Lara not off sides, and he's wrestling the ball away. Juking around. Couldn't stay with the ball. Turns around, does launch a shot, and it's stopped I think it went off the hand of Smagula and will be a corner unless they say the shot just bounced wide. A wild sequence there as we've now got two subs checking in for Brookline, number 11, Koya Nicoli, and number 14, Jeffrey Dong. They're going to say that shot went wide, was not touched by Smagula, and so it will be a goal kick for the Warriors. Over to Speicher. Winds up, kicks it. Off the head of Cuervo. Now Lutzkley. Couple of touch passes, gets to Toma. Toma looking, pass stopped by Speicher. Gives it to Lawrence. Lawrence boots it across the field, blocked there by Lopez, recovered by Schreiber-Wachnick, who sends it up to Nicoli. Nicoli sends it back to Speicher, up to Schreiber-Wachnick. Couldn't stay with the ball as Lutzkley recovers it there. Pass across the field. It is taken briefly by Lopez, but couldn't stay with it. It's knocked away, goes back to Speicher. Now up to Schreiber-Wachnick. Across, looking for Dorvillier, but intercepted by Lopez. Pass back to Reel. Reel sends back to Markson. Markson boots it towards midfield. Bouncing along. And Applebaum gives to Speicher. Speicher boots it up in the air. Off the head of Reel. It goes back to Dorvillier. Dorvillier trying to dribble through. Dorvillier still with the ball, battling with Reel. Lost his footing there, and it's out of bounds. They're going to say last touched by Newton North, and it will be a Brookline throw-in. Throw-in goes to Dorvillier. Tap back out now. A crosser into the box is well wide, out of bounds. Goal kick. Seven minutes on the clock here in the first half. This kick up, it's right to Friedman. Friedman sends it up to Dorvillier, but lost it there, taken away by Grimaldi. Sent back to Knapp, who kicks it upfield. Couple deflections, and it is ultimately taken by Cuervo. Cuervo leading pass for Lutzkley. Lutzkley chase it down, trying to get around Speicher, but Speicher wouldn't give up on that play and knocks it away. Oh, we've got an injury timeout here. Or are they calling a foul? Cuervo back on his feet. Coming up a little bit hobbled, but you know, hopefully he's okay. It doesn't look too bad as he's staying right by the sideline to potentially check back in. In the meantime, he will check out as per the injury rules. Checking in his place will be number 18, David Duarte. Keep an eye on Cuervo there. Hope he's okay. In the meantime, the drop ball is taken by Brookline. Lawrence boots it way upfield. And Lopez comes away with it. Pass knocked away by Nicoli, but kicked back the other way by the Tigers. Couple deflections. And it deflects over to Lutzkley. Lutzkley's kick blocked by Nicoli, recovered by Dong. Pass back intercepted by Lopez. Lopez sends it back to Reel. Reel across to Knapp. Knapp over to Rao. Rao gets around Lawrence. Now boots it upfield. Bouncing along. Applebaum kicks it straight up in the air. Lutzkley couldn't quite down it. And it's knocked away by Schreiber-Wachnick. Give and go with Speicher. Schreiber-Wachnick over to Nicoli. Nicoli sends it forward to Dong. Dong looking. Pass forward just out of reach of Dorvillier. And it's picked up by Markson. Markson boots it. Deflects, and they're going to call Nicoli for tripping up Toma there, and that'll be a free kick for Newton North at around midfield. Still a 1-1 tie between the Warriors and Tigers with just under 5 minutes left here in the first half. Grimaldi's free kick bounces, kicked away, but recovered by Toma, trying to push it forward, pushed out by Brookline and cleared away by Friedman. Up to Dong. Dong taps it over to Friedman. Friedman loses it there, and Grimaldi kicks it up to Duarte. Duarte sends it outside. Lopez. Lopez. Pass across, slowly over to Rao. Rao pass intercepted by Lawrence. Knocked over to Nicoli. Back to Lawrence. Up to Dorvillier. Got tangled up with Knapp on that play. Knapp takes the ball away. Pass up. Lutzkley muscles his way through Speicher, but Dorvillier comes back to take it away. Dorvillier boots it upfield, too far for anybody, and it's going to roll all the way down to Markson. Markson boots it. Deflected off the head of Applebaum, and Littman kicks it away up the line. And it's going to go out of bounds. Newton North ball. Throw in. And the pass intercepted by Lawrence. Lawrence kicks one up, intercepted by Reel. Reel kicks it up to Toma. Toma over to Lutzkley. Lutzkley couldn't get around Speicher, and Speicher kicks it away, finds Dong. Dong, pass across, Nicoli looking, kicks one forward, knocked away by Rao. Knocked back by Speicher, up to Schreiber-Wachnick. His pass blocked by Lutzkley, out of bounds. Grady Ames checking back in for Brookline, replacing Jacob Friedman. With just under 3 minutes to go and about 45 seconds, the scoreboard clock is going to freeze at 2 minutes to represent stoppage time. And once we hit that point, the only way we'll know how much time is left is when the official blows his whistle twice to signal halftime. Applebaum over to Speicher, up the line, Lawrence. Lawrence, kick blocked by Lutzkley, but it goes forward. Nicoli chasing after it. Nicoli controlling it. Along the baseline, finds a bit of an opening pass. Goes back, shot sliced by Lockwood, and it goes well wide. Great battling by Nicoli there. Trying to get a crosser there after fighting his way into a spot he could kick from. Markson, the goal kick. Deflected down by Dorvillier. Couldn't keep it in bounds. Newton North throw in. We are in stoppage time here. 2 minutes is what the scoreboard clock reads, and it's what it will continue to read until the end of the half, as only the officials can know exactly how much time is left at this point in the half. Pass goes across to Toma, now over to Rao. Rao running up with it, battling Schreiber-Wachnick, keeping the ball, trying to pass forward, but couldn't fit it through, kicked away by Speicher. Rao trying to keep it moving forward, but off several deflections. It's tapped up by Brookline, gets up to Lawrence, pass across, finds Ames. Ames running up with it, looking, fires, saved off the bounce by Markson. Couldn't quite get enough power off that long-range shot. Markson punts this one, bouncing along, and they're going to call a push on Brookline, but they're going to let it play. They're going to play the advantage. Fitzgerald Lara taking it down the far side. Oh no, the back official is saying, no, I blew the whistle, you have to stop. You know, sometimes when there is a foul called in soccer, they will do what's called playing the advantage. And if the team that was the victim of the foul is still running with the ball and has the advantage, they'll just let them go, because otherwise the foul would work against them. But that time they were like, nope, the whistle was blown. You have to keep playing, but now we have to stop playing because now it is halftime. Our score at half, Brookline 1, Newton North 1. Brookline got the first goal of the game on this goal we're showing the replay of here. In the second minute, scored by Jacob Friedman, assisted by Wally Lawrence. But Newton North was able to answer back not too long afterwards on the equalizer by Santiago Cuervo in a crazy play in the box, so unfortunately I couldn't identify the assist. But that is where things stand. As we head into halftime, I remind you this broadcast is brought to you in part by Esch Dental, located right in Coolidge Corner. Book your next dental appointment with local dentist and BHS Sports parent Dr. Brandon Esch for the non-corporate personalized dentistry our community deserves. Call 617-566-0103 or go online to eschdental.com to find out more and book your appointment. Once again, 617-566-0103 or go online to eashdental.com to find out more and book your appointment. That link and phone number in the description section down below, as are some other helpful links. You can find a link to the official Venmo account of the Friends of BHS Soccer Booster Club, which supports all 6 Brookline High soccer teams, boys and girls, varsity, JV, and freshmen. And you can also find a link and phone number for our local charity spotlight, the Brookline Education Foundation. The Brookline Education Foundation raises funds to help promote growth and innovation among Brookline educators, growth that can then be passed on to the children of this community. For over 40 years, this foundation has given out a variety of grants across the educational landscape. These include Idea Lab grants for teachers that want to present their students with new and exciting projects, and teacher grants for educators that want to further develop their own skills to bring to the classroom. Many initiatives which have become staples in the public schools of Brookline started as BEF grants. They support literacy education training, new methods in STEM education, project-based learning, mentoring of new principals and superintendents, and collaborative work around diversity, equity, and inclusion, just to name a few. Visit brooklinefoundation.org or call 617-232-3846 to find out how you can help support our town's educators and, through them, our students. Once again, that's brooklinefoundation.org or call 617-232-3846. And once again, all those links and phone numbers down in the description section down below. But for now, it is halftime. I'm going to take a break and mute the mic, but I'll be back with the second half of this ball game. Stay tuned. Hello again, back on the mic. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan coming to you live from Newton North High School in Newton, Massachusetts, here to bring you the second half of today's high school varsity boys soccer contest between the Brookline Warriors and the Newton North Tigers. Bit of an update across the sports realm as these two schools faced off in girls soccer in Brookline earlier today. And the Warriors coming away with the win, 4-1 in that one. And so a big boon for Brookline girls soccer. Can the boys get a similar result here as they come into the second half tied at 1 apiece? Brookline getting the opening possession here as Danmarth Dorvilliers sends it back, and we are underway. Pass goes up to Nate Lockwood. They send it to the back line to Applebaum. Pass across, intercepted. Bit of an errant pass across the back line, and now a chance for the Tigers. They pass out to Tiago Rubino. Rubino looking, fires a shot, does get around the defender, but not enough power on it. Well tracked by Alex Magula. Throws it in, intercepted again. A couple of bad opening passes by the Warriors, and Newton North trying to press their advantage. Coming around, it's kicked away by Travis Applebaum. Big defensive stop as Marco Coman was running baseline to try and attack there. And they're going to call Coman for the hard trip there, and that's a foul call. So Brookline will get the free kick. Smagula lining up for it. Smagula kicks this one, goes off ahead, off another, and out of bounds. Throw in up the line, scrumming for the ball, and it's recovered by Rubino. Sends one forward, and Smagula has to slide in and fall on it to cut off the cutting Santiago Cuervo. Smagula punts this one away. Cuervo almost had his second goal of the day there as he had the equalizer in a crazy scrum around the box in the first half. Both of these teams desperate for a win here. Brookline ranked 36th in the power rankings. Newton North ranked 32nd. As this one kicked forward by Rubino, goes off the head of Ben Speicher, kicked away by Jonah Littman, but right at Ross Toma, sends one forward, cut off by Littman, out of bounds. So Brookline trying to improve their standing in the power rankings to get into the playoffs. Newton North trying to cling to that last rung on the playoff ladder. As Rubino throws this one into the box. Ricochets, still in play. And it is fallen on by Smagula. Boy, that looked eerily similar to the play that got Newton North their goal in the first half. A bunch of crazy bounces inside the box, but that time it didn't bounce their way. This one knocked out of bounds, and they're going to say that was last touched by Newton North's number 5, Giga Bat-Erden. And so it'll be a throw-in for Brookline. Up the line, off ahead. Couple of heads, and now booted up in the air by Wally Lawrence. Recovered by Newton North. Dribbling with it, Anthony Aresis passes across to Lorenzo Grimaldi, sends it up to Rubino. Rubino bringing it down the near sideline, passes back, Grimaldi launches one into the box, deflects out, but right to Cuervo. Cuervo, a shot saved by Smagula. Newton North coming out with a clear advantage in terms of pressure in the opening minutes of the second half. Off the punt, it's recovered by Grady Ames. Touched out to Jacob Friedman. Friedman lifts one across, but it's deflected down and recovered by Toma. Toma passes it back to Aresis, now up to Cuervo. Cuervo, pass forward, knocked away by Littman. Over to Goldberg. Goldberg kicks it up the line, racing after it. A bit of a chance here. A shot saved. Wait, is it still in play? No, it is not, or it is grabbed by George Markson. That was Wally Lawrence with a huge chance to score for Brookline. He had the assist on Friedman's goal in the first half, and he almost had a goal of his own there. But well read by Markson, the Newton North netminder, and we remain tied at 1. Tapped forward by Rubino, cut off by Travis Applebaum, and he kicks it out of bounds. Rubino into the box, deflects down, kicked away by Littman. Goes up to Lawrence. Lawrence gets tangled up and thrown to the ground, and they're going to call the foul there against Newton North's number 23, Yorvin Ariaza Lopez. Brookline controlling it. Pass goes across to Nate Lockwood, and now back to Nate Lockwood. The one who passed it was Frederick Schreiber-Wachnick, excuse me. Pass out to Ben Speicher. Speicher sends it up the line, looking for Lawrence. Lawrence kicks a low crosser. Denmark Dorvillier, a shot blocked, but it's up in the air. Header from Lockwood is going to be well wide of the net, and it's going to bounce out of bounds. Another close chance for the Warriors is the pendulum swinging back and forth on which team is getting the majority of the good scoring chances here early in the second half, much in the way that it swung back and forth in the early minutes of the first half. Markson. Kick goes off the head of Cuervo. Forward kicked away by Speicher to keep it away from Lopez. Out of bounds, Newton North ball. Throw in, off ahead, and kicked away by Littman. Now taken by Grimaldi, passes forward, Toma, outside Rubino. Rubino from the near side, battling with Littman. Passes back, Grimaldi. Back to Rubino, give and go for Grimaldi. Knocked away by Friedman, recovered by Ryan Goldberg. And a foul is going to be called on Grimaldi for the shirt grab there. And it'll be a free kick for Brookline. We've got a note in the live chat from a Brookline High soccer alum, Jackson McGee, saying, "Up the lads." Nice to see an alum cheering on his former teammates. Hope all's going well, Jackson. I've been hearing good things about the start of your collegiate soccer career. As Brookline working the ball up the far side, kick to the middle. Lockwood deflects it, but couldn't get it to a teammate. It's taken by Cuervo. Cuervo kicks up, blocked down. Schreiber-Wachnick recovers, past the outside, goes upfield. And now Goldberg passes across to Lockwood. Lockwood, pass back Littman. Excuse me. Littman up to Lockwood. Back to Speicher. Speicher. Pass up Schreiber-Wachnick. Back to Applebaum. Applebaum up the middle. Schreiber-Wachnick over, misses. Lockwood kicked away by Grimaldi. Upfield, Littman is going to send it back to Smagula. Smagula sends it out to Speicher on the far side. Speicher to Schreiber-Wachnick. Back to Speicher. Speicher sends it up to Goldberg, now outside Lawrence. Lawrence looking, boots one, high, Friedman nowhere near it as it went into the box, and it's taken off a hop by Markson. Markson throws it in, and Rubino leaves it for Grimaldi, who takes off up the near sideline, kick up to Bat-Erden. Bat-Erden dribbling with it, pass. Lopez tries to kick it, headed away by Applebaum. Off a deflection, it's taken by Goldberg. Pass up Friedman. Friedman's kick blocked by Grimaldi, and it's going to roll out of bounds. Brookline ball. Correction, that was Rubino who blocked that one, as he and Grimaldi kind of switched spots when Grimaldi went on his rush up the sideline. Throw in, deflects down, up to Rubino. Rubino looking around, pass up to Cuervo. Cuervo back to Grimaldi. Grimaldi dribbling towards the middle. Pass across to Aresis. Aresis outside to Seth Rao. Kicks one high into the box. Caught on the pop fly by Smagula. Rolls it in to Speicher. Speicher kicks upfield. Knocked away by Peter Reel. Recovered by Goldberg. Sends it out far side, Lawrence. Lawrence to Goldberg. Goldberg over to Littman. Littman gets around one. Now taking off with speed. Taps it across. Lawrence. Lawrence gets tripped up by Toma, and the foul is called. And Brookline's going to have a free kick inside the 30-yard line. This could be a real chance for the Warriors here. I will say, this is a pretty good spot to take a shot from on a free kick, because you have enough room to go for, you know, that rainbow trajectory on a shot. A bit of a tough spot for a crosser because you're right in the middle, so there's no crossfield angle to go for. We'll see what Ryan Goldberg decides to do here. Kick flies into the box. Offside's called. And that's another reason why off a straightaway angle like that, you don't necessarily want to go for the crosser, because the only thing you can do is kick it with most of the momentum of the ball going forward. And so your teammates are going to have to chase forward after it, and that's going to result in them jumping off sides. This one goes up to Toma, pass to Rubino. Rubino sends it in the box, blocked by Applebaum. Recovered, but the kick deflected away from Bat-Erden, and it's recovered by Smagula. Smagula rolls it over to Speicher. Up to Lawrence. Lawrence bringing it up the far sideline, boots it high in the air, bounces past, deflected by Grimaldi, and kicked out by Reel. It'll be a throw-in for Brookline deep in the Newton North end, as number 16, Jad Torres, checks back in for Brookline. Replacing, I think, Jacob Friedman. And so Grady Ames taking Friedman's spot on the near side wing, and Ames will be the one to throw it in. Throw in towards the box. Headed back, Aresis clears it out. Taken by Littman. Littman kicks it forward. Knocked away, but right to Goldberg. Goldberg's pass blocked. Recovers the ball and passes back to Schreiber-Wachnick. Outside, Lawrence. Lawrence kicks one. It's blocked by Owen Knapp. Gets it out to Rao. Rao trying to get away from the forward pressure of Torres. Kicks it up the line, stays inbounds, and is taken by Speicher. Speicher's pass touched along by Schreiber-Wachnick. Too far, kicked away by Rao. Goes all the way to the Brookline end of the field, where it's taken by Applebaum. Over to Speicher. Speicher up the line to Lawrence. Back to Speicher. Speicher to the middle, intercepted. I think this is Cuervo dribbling with it. Cuervo looking, touches one forward. Bat-Erden, a shot, and it's a diving save by Smagula. I thought he had one for sure there. Seemed to have the perfect angle. Smagula had to literally go post to post on that diving save there. Punt goes off the head of D'Orvilliers, booted up in the air by Reel. And tapped forward by Toma, out of bounds, Brookline ball. I don't think I got a good replay of that save. Oh, I think I did actually. Boy, I don't know how I did that, but while we wait for the throw-in, let's look at that again. Great reach on the diving save by the Brookline netminder, who now boots this one away. Now it's passed back, and D'Orvilliers disrupts the pass for Rao. D'Orvilliers cut off by Markson. Wait, the ball is still in play. D'Orvilliers did deflect it loose, tries to pass it back, and it's cut off by Reel. That was a wild play. Great pursuit by D'Orvilliers to manage to disrupt it without committing a foul. Pass goes up to Bat Erden. Bat Erden cuts, looking, disrupted as the reinforcements come back, but off the crazy ricochet, it's recovered by Lopez. His pass blocked right back to him, and he passed it back to Aresis as Newton North resets on offense. This pass skips past everybody, but it's going to stay in bounds. Rubino keeps it in, but Littman knocks it away. Grimaldi tries to knock it back. Grimaldi fighting through. Grimaldi charging in, shot blocked by Applebaum. And Applebaum keeps it from rolling out the back, kicks it out the sideline for a throw-in. 24 minutes on the clock here in the second half. We're almost midway through the second half, still tied at 1 apiece. Rubino throws it in. Off ahead, a chance, a shot, saved by Smagula, and another shot blocked out of bounds. That was a golden chance for Grimaldi, but Smagula standing on his head here in the second half. The second shot by Lopez was deflected off a Brookline defender and went out of bounds, so it'll be another corner kick now on the, first corner kick here, as these have all been throw-ins into the box by Newton North. But this one a corner. Flies in way high and way far. It's going to be chased down, and Ames recovers the ball. Sends it up the line. Rubino keeps it in bounds, and now Ames kicks it away after Goldberg blocked the kick by Rubino. Downed by Rao, kicked up to Cuervo. Newton North trying to go back on the attack here. Cuervo dribbling down to the far side. Cuts around a defender. He's got the edge, sends in a crosser, knocked away. And it goes out of bounds, last touched by Newton North. Throw-in goes to Goldberg. Goldberg escapes one defender and now takes off running. Stops and passes over to Ames. Ames kicks it across midfield, kicked away by Rao. Littman times it well to kick it right back, but it goes to Rubino. Rubino's pass blocked by Ames. Ames off and running with it, trying to generate pressure, but dribbles into a sea of Tigers, and it's kicked away by Toma. Goes out to the far side. Lopez keeps it in bounds. Lopez dribbling, and it's knocked loose. Good defense by Speicher. Sends it up the line and misses his target, kicked away by Knapp. Recovered now by the Warriors by Schreiber-Wachnick. Pass across Lockwood. Lockwood looking, pass up to Goldberg. Goldberg kicks it up the line for Lawrence. Lawrence against Rao. Dribbling, shot blocked by Rao. Off the ricochet, Lockwood takes it. Barely muscles through, but it's kicked away by Reel. Up to Bat Erden, but Applebaum boxes him out. And they're going to call the foul on Bat Erden there for coming over the back. And so it will be Brookline free kick. Speicher simply gives it over to Littman. Back to Speicher. Speicher walks it up. Now kicks one towards the box, deflects down by Reel. Torres trying to fight for it. Torres still fighting for it and keeps the ball, taps it out to Lawrence. Lawrence looking, his kick walled. Off the ricochet, it's recovered by Schreiber-Wachnick, sends it back to Speicher. Up to Torres. Torres kicks one into the box, off ahead and caught out of the air by Markson. Dorvillier got his head on that one, but couldn't get enough force on it. Markson punts it. Bouncing along, headed down. Littman controls it. Kicks up to Ames. Ames back to Littman. Littman decides to go back to Smagula. We're at the midway point here in the second half. 20 minutes to go, still tied at 1. Smagula kicks it, knocked down. Goldberg recovers, collides with Toma. Ball's knocked loose, but recovered by Schreiber-Wachnick. Pass back to Littman. Littman up to Dorvillier. Dorvillier. Pass back, Applebaum. Now to Speicher, up to Goldberg. Goldberg out far side, and a hard collision there. Lawrence did not get the foul call he wanted. And he is still down on the turf as play continues, knocked out of bounds by Brookline. And it's going to be a Newton North throw-in as subs check in on both sides. For Brookline, Jacob Friedman and Santi Sierra back in the game. For Newton North, Hernan Fitzgerald Lara and Nikita Lutzkley back in the game. Bat Erden and Lopez sub out for Newton North. Goldberg and Torres sub out for Brookline. Throw in. Deflects to Toma. Toma touched the outside. I think that's Rao trying a shot, and it missed. Oh, they had a chance to knock that one in. I think that was Fitzgerald Lara, who was right in front of the net, sticking his foot out to try and deflect that one in, and it was just out of reach. It'll be a throw-in for Newton North, basically from the corner. Throw in, deflects out, and they try a shot. They're trying to fit one through, and that shot goes wide, and it deflects off a defender again, as I think that was Toma who had the chance for the shot there. Newton North keeps sending the ball into a sea of bodies, and it's so hard for me to keep track of where the ball is and who's getting a foot on it, as they set up for a corner kick now. Sent in, headed straight up in the air and out of the box. And they're going to call Reel for a push there as he knocked over Littman. Or maybe it was Lawrence that he knocked over. I think he knocked over Lawrence, actually. "17 minutes to go. Both teams still looking for that magical second goal. Remember, both teams undefeated in games where they score more than once. Brookline 2-0-1, Newton North 4-0 in games where they score more than once this season. But right now their score identical to their Kicks for Cancer game back in September at 1-1. Pass goes back to Littman. Now up to Sierra. Pass back, knocked away from Lockwood by Aresis. Goes up to Cuervo. Cuervo battles through a couple defenders. Running up with it, sends it near side Rubino. Rubino trying to get around Littman. Littman not going to let him. And it does go out the back line. Littman couldn't keep it in. And it'll be another corner kick for the Tigers as Rubino sets up to kick it in. This kick comes in low. It's blocked. O'Real tried to fit one through, but there was no room as it goes. I'm not sure if Smagula snagged it or if it went off the outside of the net. It must have been snagged by Smagula. He's punting it as it deflects down. We've got a whistle. Foul called against Newton North, or maybe a handball or something, whatever it is. Brookline with the free kick. And a pass given to Littman from Lawrence. Littman kicks across Speicher. Speicher weaves around one. Pass blocked. And it deflects right to Lutzkley. Lutzkley trying to run on the counter. Speicher with the get-back speed to disrupt. Lutzkley does get a pass out to Fitzgerald Lara, but it's kicked away by Applebaum. Oh, but first they called a foul on Brookline, so it's going to be a free kick for Newton North from about the 45-yard line. Rouse setting up to kick this one. This one well wide of anybody, and it's going to be picked up by Smagula. Punts this one across midfield, deflects down by Rao, but right back to Lawrence. Lawrence taking off with it, tripped up from behind, and gets the foul call. So just inside the 40-yard line. Brookline setting up for the free kick. I think this is Speicher who's going to kick it. Little right of center as he sends one flying towards the box. Deflects. And they call a foul on Brookline as they say Littman went over the back on that one. And as frustrating as it is for Brookline, I mean, you could see the hands on the shoulders there. They're going to call that. Little slow to get up, I believe, is Ross Toma, but looks like he's okay and walking it off. That's good to see. This one kicked. Goes off ahead, deflects back and forth, booted away. A chance for Dorvillier, taking off with speed, dribbling in. Tried a shot, he was stopped by Markson. Passes back Friedman, tries a shot blocked. And now a hard bowl over is going to draw a foul call against Newton North. Danmarth Dorvillier had a great break on the ball there, but a little too much dribbling and a little too late and a little too fancy on the shot. Tried to just tap it around the goalie. And that's the tough thing. I think his dribble got out a little too far in front of him and kind of dictated when he took that shot, which is probably a little later than he wanted to. But that's tough when you take off with speed, you know? That's kind of what happens. The ball will fly away from you. Sierra sends one into the box. And that one goes wide of the net. I think that one deflected off the hip of one of the Brookline players and ended up rolling wide of the net. 11 minutes and 20 seconds to go. And as tough as it is to miss a golden opportunity like that, you've got to just keep running and keep playing. Off the goal kick, a couple deflections, out to Lutzkley on the far side. Lutzkley knocked out of bounds by Speicher, and he gets the favorable deflection, Brookline ball. Throw in up the line. And the throw-in goes out of bounds, and so it'll be Newton North ball. Ten and a half to go, still tied at 1 apiece. Throw in into a tight space, and Toma comes out with it. Toma dribbling in, crosser, gets to Rubino, but he couldn't recover for a shot before Littman kicked it away. Brookline now running on the counter. This is Sierra. Racing in, Dorvillier around the goalie. Can he get to the ball? Shots! Missed it! And Brookline, I think they might have gotten the deflection for a corner kick, but oh my goodness. 2 straight golden chances on the rush. And Dorvillier, again, the ball just too far out in front of him. And so when he chased it down, he was at a spot where he had very little angle that he could actually get it in. Now Brookline setting up for a corner. The lefty kicker, Santi Sierra, will line up to send in this corner kick. Kick kind of sliced high and shallow off the head, deflected just wide off the head of Littman and then off the foot of, I want to say, Schreiber-Wachnick. As he tried, or no, Josh Bittner was the one who got his foot on that one. He checked in, I just missed when he checked in. But he almost knocked that one in as the goal kick bounces up to Rubino. Taps it forward. Toma trying to keep control of it, does keep it in bounds. Kick blocked, out of bounds. Brookline trying to argue it, bounced off of Toma, and the back judge overrules it. Oh, the 2 officials are disputing each other. And the near side official overrules the far side one and says Newton North ball. Rubino throws it towards the box, headed back, and out of reach, out of the box. Reel turns around, tries a shot, blocked. Now Brookline on the counter. Dorvillier trying to take off with speed down the far sideline. Dorvillier picking up and overran the ball a bit. Has to wait for it to come back to him. Blocked on his attempt to kick there. Now sends a pass back to Bittner. Bittner sends it all the way back to Lawrence. Lawrence fakes, tries to dribble, gets around one defender, but he's not giving up on the play. Does get the ball through to Bittner. Bittner tripped up, no call. Dorvillier towards the middle. Recovered, Ames sends one forward. Friedman racing after it. And that one does go out the back line. I'm trying to see what they call. I do believe they called a corner. Yes, they did. Friedman got the favorable deflection off Grimaldi there. Two subs coming in for Brookline. Ryan Goldberg and Frederick Schreiber-Wachnick back into the game, replacing Santi Sierra and Josh Bittner. And it will be Goldberg sending in this corner kick from the near side. This one flies in and over the net and wide, out of bounds goal kick. Just over 6 minutes left. The score still knotted up at 1 apiece. Both teams desperately trying to get that go-ahead score, but nothing is bounced right for either team here in the second half. but this one bounces to Rubino. He's running up, his pass blocked by Littman, recovered by Friedman. Friedman dribbling up with it, taps it over to Goldberg, and back to Littman. Littman looking, his pass blocked by Rubino, deflects up to Cuervo, or no, Fitzgerald Lara. Fitzgerald Lara gets it back to Rubino. Rubino jukes, tries a kick, slightly deflected, knocked away by Speicher, and that's going to go out of bounds, Newton North ball. Substitution for the Tigers, number 23, Yorvin Ariaza Lopez, checks back into the game. As he replaces Lutzkley. Throw in. Deflects down again. Oh, they call handball on Newton North. Those throw-ins into the box have been Newton North's bread and butter all night long. They've gotten several good chances off of those when it just deflects down into a sea of bodies to try and create chaos, and that is how they got the tying score back in the first half. Offsides called that time against the Tigers, and it will be another free kick for Brookline. Speicher sends it up, sent back to Speicher. Cross to Applebaum. Applebaum to Littman. Littman back to Smagula. Smagula back out to Speicher on the near side. Speicher boots it upfield off the head of Dorvilliers. Out to Lawrence. Lawrence taps one forward for Ames. Ames takes off. Ames gains the edge, tries a crosser, blocked. But off a ricochet, Ames recovers, tries to force a shot through. No good. Missed it wide. Markson with the goal kick. Couple of bounces. Toma takes it. Toma pass to Grimaldi. Grimaldi sends it up the line. Lopez. Lopez couldn't gain the edge. Knocked out of bounds. And are they saying throw in or corner kick? It was knocked out by Littman. That much is without question. And they're going to say throw in. Rubino going to throw it into the box. We are in stoppage time now with the scoreboard clock frozen at 5 minutes. Throw in comes in, punched up in the air, caught by Smagula. Smagula rolls this one in. Up the far side, a kick forward, headed back by Grimaldi. Lockwood corrals it, passes back to Speicher. Now up to Goldberg. Goldberg cut off, and a pass goes up for Fitzgerald Lara. Fitzgerald Lara gets around a defender, charging into the box. Stops, lost his footing, trying to recover, getting a pass across. Couldn't get enough on it. It's kicked away by Littman. Recovered by Aresis. Aresis, pass forward, disrupted by Littman. Bodies go flying, and now it's going to be a foul call against Brookline as Lockwood and Littman kind of sandwiched Rubino on that play. Grimaldi going to set up for the free kick just inside the 30. Is a really good spot for Newton North. You could potentially go for a shot, or you could go for a crosser since you have the sideways angle. Let's see what Grimaldi does here. Goes for the crosser. Header saved by Smagula. Well tracked by the Brookline netminder, who's made a number of good saves tonight. This one kicked up, goes off ahead. Downed by Lopez. Couldn't keep control of it. It goes out of bounds. Lawrence looking for a throw-in target, goes for Ames. Ames heads it along, knocked out of bounds by Aresis. Brookline will have another throw-in deep in the Newton North end. Now Brookline looking like they're going to go for a throw-in into the box. Lawrence comes in high, off ahead, knocked down, and Markson barely at the goal line manages to get a grip on that ball and keep it away. Dorvilliers was trying to get a body part on that one and push it across the line, but could not. Weird deflections there as Dorvilliers races back for this ball. Keeps it in bounds, but it's stolen away by Rubino. And they're going to call a foul on Dorvilliers for getting too physical over the back of Rubino. And Dorvilliers struggling a bit to get up. This might be cramps. I mentioned at the start of this game it is an unusually warm late October night. It has gotten chillier as the night's gone on, but I mean, I'm still comfortable out here without a coat. That should tell you all you need to know about how unusually warm it is here this late into the fall. Dorvilliers is back on his feet. He is going to come out of the game for Jad Torres. And you certainly hope he's okay. Danmarth Dorvilliers has been such a big offensive presence for Brookline in his rookie season. So certainly hope he's all right. In the meantime, a free kick from Grimaldi again. This one comes in lower, deflects up in the air, and it's taken off a hop by Smagula. Clock still frozen at 5 minutes. During stoppage time, only the officials will know how much time is left, and they'll let us know when it's over with a triple whistle as this one deflects forward, but Littman there to cut it off and kick it away. Knocked loose by Fitzgerald Lara. As passed back up to him, trying to battle around Littman and tried to send in a crosser, but lost his balance as it flies out the back end. Goal kick. They're setting up Littman to kick this one, and he just goes for a low pass to Speicher. And no time to get one upfield, and this one will end in a draw. The final score here at Newton North High School, the Brookline High Warriors 1, the Newton North High Tigers 1. So the Warriors and Tigers end their regular season series playing exactly even, 2 1-1 draws between the two Bay State Conference rivals. And that is how this one will end. You know, not the most ideal result that either team was looking for, and it'll be interesting to see how a draw impacts the power rankings. You know, as obviously it's not going to do much for the average scoring margin of either team. I mean, it might honestly improve both a little bit because I think they might both have negative average scoring margins with their losing records. So a draw does technically improve the average. And for Brookline, they are facing a higher ranking team technically, but hard to imagine it's going to have much impact. So both teams will be continuing their aggressive push to try and take some of those last spots available in the state tournament in their last couple of games in this last week of the regular season. Jacob Friedman got the goal for Brookline in the 2nd minute of the ball game, assisted by Wally Lawrence. Santiago Cuervo with the equalizer in the first half for Newton North, and that was the only scoring on the day. We saw some agonizing near misses for both sides and also some defensive highlights. Alex Magula, in particular, had a pretty strong day in net for the Warriors as we take one last look at the replay of what I think was his best save of the night. As again, he went post to post to track down that shot. That was a good one there. But that is going to do it. Thank you all so much for tuning in tonight. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. Thanks again to Esh Dental for sponsoring this broadcast. Esh Dental, located right in Coolidge Corner. Book your next dental appointment with local dentist and BHS sports parent, Dr. Brandon Esh, for the non-corporate personalized dentistry our community deserves. Call 617-566-0103 or go online to eshdental.com. And you can see that link and phone number in the description section down below. You can also find a link to the Friends of BHS Soccer Booster Club, which supports, or to the official Venmo account of the Friends of BHS Soccer Booster Club, which supports all 6 Brookline High soccer teams, boys and girls, varsity, JV, and freshmen. And you can also find a link and phone number to our local charity spotlight, the Brookline Education Foundation. And you can also find some links related to me that you can find in the bottom right corner of your screen. My personal website, jessesports.com, where you can find out more about me, the freelance sports broadcasting services that I provide to various teams, and how you can commission those services for your favorite team. Or if you want to skip past all that, you can email me directly with any questions or requests you may have. And don't forget to follow me on social media on Instagram and Facebook, where I post highlights from previous live streams. But for this live stream, that's going to do it. Brookline 1, Newton North 1. From Newton North High School in Newton, Massachusetts, I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. Thank you all for watching, and have a good night.